Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Eric Chilton here with Lauren Coleman, Stacy Spivey, and Monique Robinson.
Yeah, welcome back, or not back. We're it's Tuesday, just hanging.
Can you believe it's only Tuesday?
No.
I wish it was Friday.
I feel like
Yes.
I've been through a whole week, like I've been saying, team no sleep over here with baby. But yeah, just ignore my weird mannerisms,
We'll
I
get
guess.
you there.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it through it.
Well, we are on air, online, and on Facebook, so make sure you join the conversation. Lots to talk about today. Many are preparing for holiday travels with the Thanksgiving holiday only 16 days away. Recent airline troubles may have some travelers worried about if they'll reach their destination in time. This is after American Airlines and Southwest delayed or canceled hundreds of flights. Airports are most likely to be busy, but chances are you're likely to make your flight, and there are ways you can do it without burning through your savings. Check your flight status frequently so you can deal with any issues early on. Experts say you're most likely to have smoother flights with Delta and United because the two lines are used to running larger operations. To save yourself a pretty penny, check for the peak times to fly. Wednesday or Saturdays are the two cheapest days to fly during the week. If you're flying for Thanksgiving, consider flying that Monday or Tuesday and returning on the following Monday.
For anyone driving for the holidays, gas prices will hopefully be lower. Gas prices in Greensboro have fallen 1.6 cents per gallon in the last week, according to Gas Buddy. The company's survey says prices average $3.24 a gallon per day. The lowest gas price in the city is $3 a gallon. AAA predicts more than 53.4 million people will travel this Thanksgiving. 90% of those travelers will be on the road, so prepare yourselves for the long haul. Plan ahead, book flights, rentals, and accommodations as early as you can. Prepare your car for the trip to avoid breakdowns. Protect you and your trip by travel insurance to cover unexpected delays or trip interruptions. Above all, be patient. Arrive to airports early, fly during those non-peak travel times, and drive on highways when traffic isn't so heavy.
Well, I'm excited because this Thanksgiving, y'all, is going to be my first Thanksgiving in news where I don't have to buy a plane ticket.
Wow.
Oh
I'm
my
just going to be able to
gosh.
hit the road and, have a 4-hour drive.
closer to everybody.
I'm closer to everyone now.
That is nice. Well, I'll be here Thanksgiving, so excited to spend my Thanksgiving with you guys
I
at home.
will too. Stacy
Okay,
and I
yes.
are both working
Yes.
that day. For me, it's funny because it just works out this way that my mother-in-law always comes to us because we have all the kids. This year, my mother-in-law is coming, her sister and husband are coming, and my brother-in-law and his wife are coming. We will have 11 people when you count our
Wow.
family
Oh my gosh.
and 4 dogs.
Well,
all coming to our house.
That's always a
That's
lot of fun,
dogs,
though.
Yeah.
I grew up with that. I mean, I was youngest of 5, so we had a big extended family, and I love it when there's a lot
It's like
of
a
people.
big sleepover. I
It
always look
is.
forward to those holidays too, with all the cousins that you didn't get to see throughout the year and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
It is
Yeah,
fun. It
and
is
all
fun.
the food.
All right, so Congress, they're looking at another way to protect you on the road using technology. Excuse me, we're over here. Hello, you're right there. Another way to protect you on the road using new technology. Now get this, the technology will help stop drunk driving. President Biden's $1 trillion infrastructure package includes funding for monitoring systems to stop drunk drivers. Auto manufacturers would be required to install the technology in cars as early as 2026. Believe it or not, each year around 10,000 people are killed due to alcohol-related crashes in the U.S. That's according to the National Highway Transportation and Safety Administration. In 2018, 421 people were killed on North Carolina highways due to drunk driving.
Reports show each year more than 100,000 crashes involving drowsy drivers are reported to police. These crashes result in more than 1,500 fatalities, 71,000 injuries, and $12 billion in financial losses. With National Drowsy Driving Prevention Week happening over the next few days, Alliance Insurance Services in Winston-Salem wants to remind drivers that drowsy driving is impaired driving.
Kind of highlighting to everyone that the time has changed. It may be a little darker for you than you're accustomed to while you're traveling. Drowsy driving is dangerous. We talk about drinking and driving and texting and driving and distracted driving of any form. A lot of accidents happen with people falling asleep at the wheel, and
According to the National Safety Council, driving after going for more than 20 hours without sleep is equivalent of driving with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08%. That's the U.S. legal limit. You're also 3 times more likely to be in a car crash if you are fatigued.
The insurance industries help you fix your car, but then you also have the increased expense, unfortunately, of auto insurance when you have an accident on your record and your insurance does have to step in, and damage to vehicles. Like a lot of things in this current economy, the price to repair damages is going up significantly.
The Sleep Foundation says young adults and adults should get between 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. So I asked you on Facebook, on average, how many hours of sleep do you get, and is it enough for you to function? Annette Pegler says, I get about 6.5. That's enough for me. I can't remember the last time I got a full 8. Mikey Simon says 4 to 6 hours, barely enough to remember who I am. And Jeff Griffin wrote, I get probably about 5 hours even on weekends. My internal clock won't allow me to sleep longer. And then Leslie Cornell wrote 7 to 8. Before I retired, I slept 5 to 6 and I thought I was good to go. After getting rid of my alarm clock, I wake naturally. Good luck, sweetie. Your job sets hard hours. And that they do, especially if you work that morning shift. I know I've worked it, and you both have worked it as well.
It ruined my sleep clock. Like
Yeah.
your natural rhythms are never there when you work early morning. And for people, so I know I have friends that have worked overnights. I mean, we have friends in this business too. That to me is almost better in a way because at least you flip instead of halfway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like halfway in early and halfway not.
Yeah. I mean, just counting out. Y'all saw me at the beginning of the show. I don't know what day it is or what time it is, apparently. I was just counting out. I do get a consistent, like a long period of sleep, but it's that I'm waking up all the time. Like, for instance, not last night, but the night before, I went to bed around 9:30, 10 and woke up at 6, but I was waking up pretty much every hour because she was waking up every hour.
And
So
when you have a 4-month-old, that's the way it works too.
So
isn't
yeah.
it?
when you guys take turns, like you and your husband is like, tonight's the night to stay up, do you still wake up even on those days when he's in charge of watching
sometimes
her?
because, you know, she's crying and that wakes me up usually. But I can go back to sleep, whereas like he has to go and get her, or if it's my night, I have to go and get her.
I couldn't go back to sleep. I'm a horrible fall back asleep person.
It takes
Once
some
I wake
time.
up, it does.
Yeah.
It does. All right, we digress again. This is what we do on this show. Let's check in with Monique and our forecast.
Well, the temperatures across today have been very warm across the Triad. 70s, that's where we top things off at 76 exactly in Greensboro, 77 in Winston-Salem, and Burlington agreeing with that same number. Now, take a look at this. This is where we started from. This is how chilly it got. Reedsville sitting at that freezing point earlier today. Some other locations right around those 30s. Now, I'm going to show the highs again. Most places jump nearly 40 degrees throughout the day. So we were started out the 30s. By the afternoon, that sun really baked the atmosphere, and then we rose to 70s, even some locations really near the 80s when we look to southern Virginia. But overall, the temperatures have been very warm, and tomorrow I'm expecting a consistent forecast with warmer temperatures. Another day with beautiful blue skies like this one. This is a look at High Point, and I promise this is a time lapse, but it looks as though the sky barely changes. You're seeing that sun shifting though. That thing doesn't want to stick around for too long, and guess what? It won't. We know that these daylight hours are getting shorter and shorter, but the sunsets are getting more and more beautiful as the skies start to, as we go throughout the course of this week, we start to see a little bit more cloud cover. The sunsets are going to get even more nice. Now take a look at this. Some rain on the way. I'll have more details on wind coming up.
All right, I'm talking about courtroom body language. What's happening in the Rittenhouse case?
It's day 6 of the Kyle Rittenhouse murder trial. Rittenhouse is accused of murdering 2 people and injuring another in Wisconsin last summer. Yesterday, one witness, Gage Grosskreutz, who was shot and survived, testified against Rittenhouse. Today, Blanca Cobb, body language expert, and I are taking a look at both Rittenhouse and Grosskreutz body language in the courtroom. Hey, Blanca.
Hey.
So let's go ahead and take a look at where Rittenhouse seems to be listening to Grosskreutz testimony. What did you notice in this, Blanca?
What you'll notice is that he seems to be busy, as if he's listening. But if you take a closer look, what you'll notice is that he's really compensating for the nerves that he's feeling. So when you feel anxiety or tension, your body's going to show it in different ways. And for Rittenhouse, he's writing, he's flipping through the notepad, he's looking over at his attorney's notes, he rubs his nose, he does this deep swallow, and then ultimately he stares into space. So it's so much as it's like this mental overload, because he was trying to deal with that anxiety. And then when he stares into space, it's like his body's just like shutting down momentarily. So when we see behaviors, we also want to see what's precipitating it, what's causing it. And in this case, the witness is talking about how he thought Rittenhouse was an active shooter. So that's definitely playing a role in how he's acting.
And we do want to take another look at a clip where a part of the video of the shooting was played in the courtroom. What did you notice about Rittenhouse's body language in that clip?
His body language is a little more pronounced. And we know this because you can see him moving back and forth as he's sitting. He's tapping the pen consistently and constantly. And he also takes a deep breath. When you're taking a deep breath, you're just trying to get control of all those emotions and anxiety that you are feeling. And also we have to think about what is it that has brought about this change in behavior. And for here, he's actually seeing a part of the video that's showing the events of that night, and that could definitely be triggering some angst for him.
And now let's go ahead and turn to focus on Grosskreutz testimony. While he was on the stand, you notice that there were times that he immediately answered the attorney's questions, while at other times he hesitated. Now, what does this tell us?
A lot of times you might think, well, if you know the answer, you would tell it immediately. And yes, you are correct. However, in a high stakes situation, and we're talking about in a court of law where you have to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and these types of situations, that anxiety is up and someone might want to think a little more, think about how they're going to explain what they saw, because they know that those words can be brought back against them, right, from the opposing attorney. So you want to be very careful in a situation like this. So looking at the situation from different angles, picking those words very carefully before answering. And however, there are some people who might challenge that and say, well, is he really being forthcoming if you have to think about what happened? Now, there's another thing that I want to point out with his body language is that he kept turning his body physically towards the jury as he was talking. And I would imagine a lot of the jury members would just disassociate from that, just disengage and not react to it. Again, this is a high stakes situation, and a lot of jury members were very conscious of their body language because they don't want to give anything away. And it's really not typical for a witness providing testimony to actually turn their body. So that was a bit awkward.
Yeah, I actually did notice that. Blanca, thank you so much for that insight. And if you're interested in reading body language during the testimony yourself, you can actually find this story on our website, WFMYnews2.com. We'll be right back.
You see this book here? The Color Purple. That's Alice Walker's book, which was later made into the famous movie. Today on U Day, Coach Lamont shares why a certain line from the movie will keep you in the fight for your life.
Remember the movie The Color Purple? The character Sophia, she said that famous line, "All my life I've had to fight." I believe there's a Sophia that lives on the inside of all of us. It seems that we face some type of battle, we get knocked down, but the good thing is we didn't stay there. We got back up and we kept swinging. When you discover that the moment you win one battle, it becomes a mental blueprint to how you can defeat anything that comes in your life. We may not understand why at times life seems so hard and why we have to face the toughest of challenges. But no one said that this life we're living was going to be easy. We must remain steadfast, remain determined, and know that whatever we face, we have already won. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best U Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
All my life I had to fight.
Had to
That
fight,
is a
that's
popular
right.
line from that movie.
I love that
Me
movie.
too.
That is such a good. The soundtrack's incredible.
Yeah,
too, on
absolutely.
that. By the way, I'm just going to get this out there right now. That stay tuned because we're going to talk. Coach Lamont came by the station today. We hung out in the weather garden. We did some chit chatting about his life and what took him to this place and how he started U Day, and it's really interesting.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
Towards the end of his talk, I felt like a church choir should have popped
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
You know, we
Little
all
organ
rise
music.
and just start raising our hands.
You're so right. I love it. Every time I hear his message, I say message, it's like a pastor's message.
Yeah.
It is.
You start thinking about, the times in your life that you've gone through those challenges and you really had to fight. And just remember, if you got through that time, you can make it through whatever you're going through right now.
You're absolutely right. I was just telling myself the other day, I can be upset, I can keep complaining, or I can try to dig deep and just be happy with that I'm doing the best that I can. It's really your choice if you want to choose to fight.
I think you decide whether you're happy or not.
Yeah.
Nobody else can decide that for you. I think people think that, especially when you're younger, and then the older you get, the more you realize, no, I determine.
You determine
whether
your
I'm
future.
happy.
Yeah, I learned this on Sunday. I started practicing this. Joy is something that you create. So in the morning when I first start my day, I just start blasting music. I'm jamming in my apartment. I create the joy to set the tone for the day. That also applies to happiness. That's not something that you look for people, you expect people to bring you happiness. That doesn't always work out. We set these expectations for folks that sometimes they don't meet, but you have to create that space. You have to create that environment for yourself so you can have a wonderful day, always.
Amen, amen.
That's it.
Yeah, I
That
feel like
works.
Monique needs to have her own U Day.
It's Mo Day. That's what it is, a new series.
There we go. I love it.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. You know, we hear his advice every day. In fact, we just heard it. Advice to keep us all centered and on the track to a good life. But today, I had a chance to speak in person, one-on-one with Coach Lamont, the genius behind our U-Day segments, and I asked him, how did his life's journey take him to the space that he's in now? It's quite a journey. Wait till you hear this. Here's part of the conversation. What about in your personal life? For someone to be this introspective and deep, they had to have gone through some stuff to get there. I mean, that's the way the world is.
You know, Eric, my story is one that many people would look at and say, how are you even still standing? At the age of 5 to 9, sexually molested. And that became the root to so much that would develop in my life of growing up angry, growing up, not feeling worthy because of what took place. And, I've experienced everything from not having a father in the home to being homeless with my family and not knowing how to provide as a husband, as a father. And, all these things have shaped me into the man that I am. But the undercurrent to all that stuff that was taking place was that I was dealing with serious mental illness. And I knew that something was wrong. I would tell my family all the time, something is not right, something is wrong. But they always chalked it up to be something that it wasn't, because my personality has always been out here. I'm the first person to make somebody laugh. I'm the first person to pick somebody up, but I was also the first person that was thinking of ways every day on how to end their lives. And when the one thing that when I think about the pandemic, and the very first thing that we were told was to mask up, and that was the language that meant so much to me. Is because that's what I was doing all my life, working in television, putting the mask on every single day. And I was hiding my pain.
We are our own foundation. If that foundation is not solid, you can't build on that.
That's right.
And I mean, that's what you did. You found out what you needed to do, get that base thing, firmed up, and then you can build from there.
And that's what we have to do. There's no time for us to be embarrassed. The two reasons why people don't seek help is because of shame and labels. They don't want to be criticized nor find themselves in an embarrassing situation where people may know what you're walking through. And then we're labeled. If you're going through something, don't hide it any longer, because the things that you don't confront internally, you will resolve externally. It's going to come out of you some way. And the best way that I would love to see people, for it to come out externally, is for people to find the help that they need.
So a lot of that, I'll tell you, just from a television standpoint, usually we do a lot of editing and pull out experts. We kind of let him go. There were a couple edits in that entire thing, just because it was longer. But he is profoundly deep. His story is moving, and I don't even think we really get the real Coach Lamont in those day-to-day U-Day segments. You have to watch a lot of that to get that full picture, because his entire picture is pretty deep.
I appreciate this breakdown, us getting to talk to him kind of, outside of his segments, because he gives such powerful messages that we can all relate to. But hearing his story, it comes from a true place as to how he's able to provide this inspiration, because he's lived it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Even him just telling his story, he wove in pieces of inspiration in there. Just even sharing his story became kind of a lesson just listening to it.
And we also, it's another TV kind of behind the scenes type thing, but we didn't put music on it on purpose, because you didn't need it. His words were so strong. We both, Manning, the photographer and editor, and I both were like, just let it roll. He's strong.
So I know he does these segments and we air them on our channel. Does he have any plans to do like a self-help book or anything of that nature? Did he talk to you a little bit about that?
Interesting that his wife is a children's author now.
Okay.
She just started this. She has a series of children's books getting ready to come out. So the whole family is kind of about, they're about family. I mean, his son shoots his U-Day segment. He's the cameraman for
Oh,
that.
that's really neat.
Yep,
Well,
and so
he
they
does
do
a very good job.
And they keep it. It's like a family business. And he has 4 kids, a son and 3 daughters. And he has 5 kids. And he said he's very excited about this U-Day segment and that it's starting to take off, because it airs on TV stations all around the country. Very cool. All right, we're going to talk more with him too. We have a little bit more about the U-Day segment itself coming up.
this is going to be like the first time. Hi, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check. Good thing that music stopped because I was going to have to ask for you guys to yell at me. Hi, mic check. I'm glad the music stopped because I almost had to tell you to yell in my ear or text me or something, but we're good now. I can hear things. Mic check, still talking. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Is there any way to boost the audio?
Yeah, I mean, they just got to tell us. Yeah, I mean, you just have to tell us.
Okay. Is that better? Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check.
Easy as that.
They're happy now. Good. We got it.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Stacey Spivey with Lauren Coleman, Eric Chilton, and Monique Robinson.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, whether you're watching on air, online, or the WFOY News 2 app. I think we got some coffee in us, a little bit of caffeine, so we're ready for this next half hour.
We hope so, right? Well, the men's college basketball season is finally here. Fans are amped up to see their favorite teams tip off for the season.
Tonight's season opener includes some major rivalries. WFOY News 2's Amanda Ferguson joins us live from the Coliseum.
Hey, Lauren and Stacey, a big Greensboro basketball matchup here at the Greensboro Coliseum in just a few hours. The UNCG Spartans hosting North Carolina A&T, two coaches with the same name, Coach Jones, but for one Jones, it's his first time coaching in the Triad. UNCG's Mike Jones. Now, he took over back in April when Wes Miller left. The goal is to keep building off what he created here, continuing to lead the Spartans to success. Now, he's proven that in his time at Radford. Coach Jones says he feels good about where his Spartans are at coming into the season, and they're ready to take on the Aggies.
I just never got the team this year where I wanted them to go. I just didn't get it done. I'm scared to death of the next phase, but I no longer feel that I'm the right man.
That's not right. So one of the guys who is not new to coaching UNCG, guard Caleb Hunter. This is his 5th season, a part of the team. He tells us what we can expect tonight from the Spartans.
You can expect a lot of excitement. We get after defensively. We got a lot of scores on our team. We got a lot of dogs, man, that just loves the game of basketball. So I feel like we're gonna get a lot of wins off of that.
Tip-off between UNCG and NCA&T is set for 7 p.m. We'll have all the coverage coming up on WFOY News 2 at 11. But first, at 5, we will hear from head coach Will Jones and see how he and the Aggies are ready to come into tonight's game.
All right, so tonight Coach K will lead the Blue Devils to tip off against the Kentucky Wildcats. That happens at 9:30, a late game. This will be Coach K's last season opener before his retirement, but he says his final season is not the focus of the season. Coach K said he and his team will go after it this year as they do every single year.
But of course, it's still bittersweet for Duke fans knowing this season is the last time Coach K will lead the Blue Devils. Duke Nation tweeted their excitement saying the final season of Coach K's career begins tonight with a goat emoji. Rick responded to a post asking for predictions for this season by saying Duke wins the ACC championship, the ACC regular season, to finally appease the haters, the national championship, and Coach K goes off into the sunset. Jay said he's grateful Duke has one final year with Coach K and he's leading a team that could win it all. Terrence tweeted a dramatic photo of Coach K with the caption, "The Last Ride." And another user tweeted this gif of Stephen Smith dancing and said, "How am I going to need Coach K to walk out for his last game at Cameron?"
It's also a big night for the Tar Heels, who start their season without head coach Roy Williams for the first time in 18 seasons. Williams announced his retirement back in April when he gave an emotional statement on why it was time for him to step away.
I just never got the team this year where I wanted them to go. I just didn't get it done. I'm scared to death of the next phase, but I no longer feel that I'm the right man.
The Tar Heels play the Loyola Greyhounds tonight at 7. Coach Hubert Davis will start his role as new head coach. Very exciting times.
This is a big deal because, you know, with Coach K's retirement and then Roy already retiring, and now it's like a shift in the powerhouses in the ACC basketball world. And, you know, this is, I mean, for those two to both be gone within a year and a half roughly of each other, I mean, that's a game changer for ACC basketball. And as somebody that grew up here, it's going to be tough to not see either one of them on the side.
So who are you going for? Who do you think is going to win?
Which game? Because Duke, Kentucky, that's number 8
game.
and number 9 in the country playing each other.
Okay.
You know, Carolina has a smaller team to play, not a traditional basketball powerhouse, but that Duke Kentucky game is going to be something else.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting season with Coach K's final season, Coach Davis's first season. So, hey, I mean, when I think of Carolina, I think of basketball.
Yeah,
like
true.
before I moved here, I just associated the two. So it's a big night in our state.
It is. I've said this before, but when I was a kid and even like in middle school, the teachers on that Thursday, Friday of the ACC tournament, they really wouldn't teach after noon because everybody wanted to watch the games. They would roll TVs in on carts, and we would watch the ACC tournament from noon till we got out of school.
They just
seriously.
weren't playing.
I know my dad was superintendent, so I couldn't tell him that I was doing that. No, Dad, we were instruction all day long. We were good.
No fun,
All
no
day.
fun here.
Well, from the court to the turf, it's your chance to watch the Panthers in person. We have tickets up for grabs for 3 games.
This week's winner is Gladys Adams from Burlington. Woo-hoo! Congratulations, Miss Gladys. She gets to see the Panthers kick off against the Washington football team on the 21st.
Yeah, we still have 2 more drawings. First, go to WFNYnews2.com. On the homepage, you'll see the story that says Play and Score Carolina Panthers tickets on WFNY News 2. You click that story. Once you're in there, click on the hyperlink that says Play 2 tickets on 2 trivia here. There are 5 Panthers trivia questions there.
And what's nice about this, y'all, you can play as many times as you like. The more you play, the better your chances are to win. For this upcoming drawing, you have until 6:30 next Monday night to win tickets to the Panthers game against the Atlanta Falcons on December 12th. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Well, once trivia closes, you'll just need to watch WFNY News 2 at 11 to see who wins. This is the 3rd of 4 ticket giveaway, so you do have some more chances to win. Log on to WFNYnews2.com and play Panthers trivia for your chance to win 2 tickets on 2.
Earlier in the 4 p.m. hour, I said there was some rain chances in the forecast. When taking a look at the satellite radar, look way out west. There are some hints of that S word, but we're not seeing that anytime soon. High pressure sitting over the south. That's what's circulating the winds out of the south and west. That's bringing us warmer weather for today. Same story for tomorrow, but the setup is changing. That high pressure is going away and a cold front making its way closer here to us. The timing of this front kind of moving through late Thursday going into your early Friday, and out ahead of it we can expect some showers and storms. So again, latter part of your Thursday going into the start of your Friday. So here's a look at a brief 3-day forecast. Your Wednesday, another warm day, kind of a copy and paste forecast for today, but a little bit more cloud cover. And then Thursday, rain late, the clouds starting out early, continuing from late Wednesday, and that's what's going to keep us on the cooler side of things. By the the afternoon on Friday, those clouds should break, giving way to a little bit of sunshine if it does before the sun escapes us. But breezy conditions for certain by the end of the day going into your Saturday in the wake of that cold front. When we talk about how much rainfall we will get, not a lot. When we talk about that front moving through, not looking at significant rainfall totals. Haven't shown the 7-day yet, but I will before the 4 p.m. hour ends.
Well, you know, it may be too warm today to start thinking about the S word, but the NCDOT, yeah, they're making sure that they're ready just in case. This is the time of the year where you may see trucks out on the road doing dry runs just to make sure equipment functions properly and the crews are up to speed here. Officials say their plan is to have crews ready by December 1st.
Whenever we're fully staffed with both state forces and contractors, we have approximately 200 people in our 5-county area that are working on this operation at any one time. And those folks are primarily in trucks and motor graders doing the actual clearing, and then there are many other support staff along with that. So we get all that ready this time of the year, and we maintain that level of readiness until the end of March.
Yes, we are famous for March snows around here. Some other winter preparations include setting up for the Piedmont Winterfest. Teams started installing the rink today. They'll spend tomorrow making ice for the floor. You can enjoy ice skating, curling, and other winter fun at Winterfest once it opens. We'll be back. You know, keeping ourselves centered, that's easier said than done in these tough times that we live in. But Coach Lamont and his U-Day segments help us in that journey every day. Coach stopped by the station earlier today, and I asked him about this project and what it has become. So we watch these every day. We're all inspired by you here at the station. But I wonder, what are people saying to you about this? What kind of feedback do you get?
You know, it has been extremely rewarding. We get letters all the time. I worked in local television in Charlotte for a number of years. And I remember when I would offer advice on air, I did this one segment called Morning Motivation at the end of the show. And there would be people that would come up to me, whether I was at the gas station or if I was doing a speaking engagement or I was at the store, Walmart or at some store or whatever. And people would come up to me and they would say, you know, you said this and this is what I did with this and this is what happened to me. And I remember, Eric, as they would walk away, I would be so jealous of them. And the reason I was so jealous is because something came out of me that helped them, but it came out of me and couldn't help me because we're the last people that we will ever listen to. And I found myself in this place of being angry with my audience. Like, how dare you change your life with something that I say? How dare you get help from me? But there are certain letters that you get, and that was how I pretty much grew, I would say, to what we're now experiencing with U-Day. And I got a letter from a mother here in Greensboro who watches faithfully W Family. That's the way that's the way I like to call it. And who told me that there was something that she heard that inspired her, and shared with me that a few days prior, her son tried to commit suicide, and she shared the message that I delivered. She shared it with him, and the light came back on. The thing is that I've gotten to a place in my life, Eric, that I write and I reflect from a place of words that I wish someone spoke to me when I was in that dark place. And I'm constantly, when I'm writing, I'll think about what did I experience at this moment? And what would I have loved someone to say to me that would have changed everything that I'm going through? And that's how I write. I don't write to create a U-Day moment. I write to create a lifetime moment for that viewer that's on the other side of the camera. And we've been successful in doing that. And God has just favored us and smiled on everything that we're doing.
So I'll tell you one thing that he's doing. First of all, self-aware. He's self-aware, right? And if you're self-aware, then you have the right to offer advice, I think, because that's hard to do. He says he's in the planning stages now of going to communities where his segments air, like here, and doing like community outreach where people can come. He'll do a talk. You can come up and ask questions into a microphone.
Wow.
And he wants to do a lot of that type of thing. So look for that. Maybe, hopefully, if he gets that together, we'll be doing that.
I just love how he's taking his own life experiences, and we can see in that interview, he is just so real. He is a real person, and you just never know how your words are going to impact other people. I've had viewers actually message me like, are we going to get more of that U-Day man? Like when we first started playing these, he's touching a lot of people out there, and it's happy to see he's such a great space right now.
I mean, that story about the woman here in the Triad, she delivered his message to her son, and he said, the lights came on.
Yeah.
That's incredible that we get to show you guys U-Day through Coach Lamont and save lives.
Yeah, I have a feeling we'll be seeing more.
Yeah,
of Coach
maybe
Lamont.
do some more live segments with him or something.
That'd be awesome. All right, we'll take a break. Be right back.
Hello, friends. Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together.
Check this out, a new attraction in New York City. Test your inner adrenaline junkie. The City Climb opened today at Hudson Yards, one of the city's tallest buildings. The experience straps people into a bodysuit so they can lean over the edge of the apex, which stands at about 1,271 feet. Looks kind of fun to me. So when they climb over, they look down at the Empire State Building. City Climb will operate rain, snow, or shine, but will close if the temperature drops below 23 degrees or if the weather is dangerous. I saw Tanya shaking her head like, nope.
I think I would get up there and I would like to look over. I could not turn around and just go like this. So,
yeah.
No.
I'd almost rather, and this sounds weird, but I'd almost rather lean forward than backwards.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I wouldn't want. I want to look. I don't want to not look. And
yeah.
Forward or backwards. I would do it because I like to do crazy fun things, but I would be terrified.
What's the one? Is it Grand Canyon? I know Tanya's talked with the glass that goes out over the edge, and you can. I would love to do that.
I would do that.
My wife said she will not do that. But.
Look at that. That is crazy. I mean, think
that
of
would
the
be
view you would
something
have.
fun to do for a milestone birthday.
Yes, it would. Well,
wow.
My milestone birthdays are getting too
video
old now.
too.
If I do this, my milestone birthdays might have a heart attack when I'm trying to do that one.
Oh man.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Tanya said no. Did you say no to that?
She did.
All right, friends. Usually when I say the word leftovers and holidays, you think of what?
Thanksgiving.
Turkey, Thanksgiving,
Okay.
Christmas.
And how long are you eating those leftovers, right?
After a couple days, I'm ready for something
3
different.
days.
3 days. That's all you give yourselves, huh?
Yep.
All right. Well, when I'm talking about leftovers and holidays, I'm really talking about the prep that you're about to make, and it deals with cleaning baseboards, closets, and finding that leftover paint.
You want to keep leftover paint to use for touch-ups. When you get a ding on the wall, to paint it over.
Yes, that is the idea, but that only works if you've stored the paint correctly in the first place. Consumer Reports says the key to making leftover paint last is sealing it.
Here in our lab, we have paints that are over 10 years old, and because we stored them properly, we can still use them whenever we need them. You want to keep water from evaporating from the paint and keep microorganisms from getting into the can.
Creating an airtight seal is key. First, get all the paint out of the channel where the lid locks in. Use a wet cloth wrapped around a flathead screwdriver. You'll want to push it into the channel and drag it all the way around the whole can several times, and then gently hammer down the lid. Store your paint out of direct sunlight, anywhere from 50 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, because temperature extremes can ruin the paint, so avoid anywhere that it can freeze or get too hot. And this is helpful. If you only have a small amount of paint left, it's better to transfer the paint to a clean jar with a screw-on lid. All right, and to me, this was actually key. You see that picture in the middle there? Label your project paints so you know what it is without having to open up. Okay, I have a bunch of mystery cans in my house. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I love mystery cans. But so we ruined ours because we didn't know that, and we put it in the attic.
Oh, and it froze.
Yeah, and heated. It's probably
Right,
boiling.
yeah, all of that, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we moved into our house, there were a ton of cans, paint cans in the shed, and we still don't know what they are or why they're there.
So should Stacy toss them out?
So what Stacy should do, right, in your spare time with the kid is, or the hubby, you guys need to open them up, see if they're worth keeping, and if so, figure out where they are in your house, right, and then write it down on the can, because you are going to have to touch up the stuff on your walls. I mean, it just happens, does it not? I mean, Eric, you got 4 kids.
Yeah.
I just think the Sharpie or the crayon on the walls, right?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, the nicks and the dings, all that. And a coworker told me some of his friends have a binder listing each room with all the paints and the trim colors and where they bought it. And you're saying, yes, that's a good idea?
It's very organized.
And Eric's like, yeah, we don't have that. All right. Happy holiday honey-do list time.
always something wrong with me.
But there's always something right with you too.
Oh, hi. That is a big no. What's a no? That New York skyscraper.
Jalen, mic check 1 2 3 4 5.
2, 3, 4. WFY News 2's Jenna Krasina.
Hi there, still attaching it to my.
Hey there, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania.
That seems very extra. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9.
Local matchup. Jesus. Hey, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.
So it's time for my 2 cents, and today I'm talking about the give and take of marriage, adjusting to your spouse, and they have to adjust to you too, right? There are some things, the ways that my wife does things that I would never do, but I've adjusted and accepted. Remember those 2 words, folks, adjusted and accepted. Yeah, we've been married 13 years, but we still do these things differently. Did you have a junk drawer in your kitchen growing up? We always did. Everything's in there. Here's my wife's version of a junk drawer. Not junky at all. Individual containers, everything has its place, even pens in one bin, pencils in another bin. I say her version of a junk folder, or drawer rather, is actually a miscellaneous odds and ends containment facility, because she's got it all down to a science. But she's right. If you want to find something, you'll know where to find it. You don't have to dig through a lot of things. Very true. Now let's talk about leftovers. She gets this straight from her mom. I know, because her mom will eat things that have been in the refrigerator for a long time that I would never touch. My mother used to say leftovers are like company. After 3 days, throw them out. Well, this was in my refrigerator recently. I think it's chicken stir fry. Not quite sure. She may or may not eat that. You just have to see. But I do not throw it out. I have accepted and adjusted. Remember? 2 words you need to remember. All right. How about this? Kids have leftover milk at dinner. It goes back in the fridge, even if it's that much. Tiny little amount. My kids are so used to this now that they don't even question. They just take it out and pour more milk in it and keep going. For me, I would have dumped that, rinsed it out into the dishwasher, but I accepted and adjusted. Now, the last one is my favorite, the soap saver. When it gets down to that last little thin sliver of soap, most of us throw it away, put a new bar in the bathroom, right? No, not my wife. She gradually works that little sliver in to the next soap bar, saving us at least 7 cents every month. But I adjusted and accepted. That's just my 2 cents, and that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
Dozens of Triad Middle School students all came down with the same sickness on the same day.
Questions still